You know, recently I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've been thinking about our role as men during COVID-19. Every single one of us has a role to play. Could be as a father, could be as a husband, could be as a boyfriend, could even be as a son, or it could even be as a friend. We've all got people in our life that we care about. So for those people, it's time to take a step away from the external narrative that's coming from the media. It's time to take a step away from our own internal process. And the reason we need to do that is that we can be there for those people. Because the reality is we can't change the situation, but we can change and help to improve the situation for the people that we love. So let's understand some of the emotions that those people could be feeling. And then let's look at how we can challenge that and bring some positivity into those people's lives. I think we're all living with a degree of low-level anxiety, but I think others of us are also living with a degree of low-level depression too. One of the causes of depression can be a loss of self-identity and a loss of self-worth. And I think this period in lockdown where we've been taken away from the world has probably made a lot of us realise that our value in the world comes from factors that are essentially factors that are outside of ourselves. So think about the people that you know. Perhaps one of your friends started their own business recently and it was going nicely. And then suddenly we've had the lockdown and now that business has had to take a halt. And now perhaps your friend is worrying about whether he'll be able to provide for his family in the way that he could do before. And despite the fact he goes home and he talks to his girlfriend and he talks to his wife and she says, you know, I'm so proud of you, we will get through this. Perhaps he still feels like a failure because he's not providing for his family in the way that he did before. Or think of the mother who's been there for her child every single day on a day-to-day basis. Now that child doesn't live at home anymore and the mother just wishes that she could see her child in a face-to-face capacity so she could feel like she's a mother once again. But of course, because of the lockdown, she can't. She has to be away from her own family. And I think it's a really, really hard situation for everybody because we really do get so much of our worth from seeing the contribution that we're making to others in the world. And we really do get so much of our self-worth from seeing the contribution that we're making to the world. And even just on small personal levels too. I think it can be really hard when you wake up and you don't feel like you're contributing. It can be really hard when you wake up and you don't feel like you're progressing. Because a lack of success can lead to a real horrible internal cycle where you internalize and you make up a lot of failures for yourself that weren't necessarily failures. So I think what I'm asking you to do now is to show compassion to those people. If you've got a friend who's struggling, just send him a text and let him know that you're thinking of him. You know, if you've got a mother who you know wishes she could see you, send her a message, tell her that you love her. The point is, we're all dealing with our own cycle and we're all dealing with our own thoughts. And I think it's time at this point to really connect with those people once again. And FOMO is absolutely a real thing. The other day I felt really, really sad when I was told that Wimbledon was cancelled. And I couldn't quite work out why I felt so sad. And then I realised that it's because it's something that I look forward to and something that I go to every single year. But then that got me thinking about how every single human being at this moment in time is experiencing FOMO for something that they've lost or something that's been cancelled. And I think what that shows is that we should all be coming together and we should all be making future plans for things that we're all excited about. Or it also shows that we should be sending messages to those important people in our life, reminiscing about the good times that we've shared, sending them funny photos of the great times that we've had together. And I've heard it said before that if you're living in the past, then you're living in sadness and nostalgia. And if you're living in the future, then you're living in constant fear. So as a result of that, you should be living in the present. But I think it's actually really, really hard to live in the present because the present is such an isolated thing away from everything that we know and everything that we love. So as a result, I don't think there's anything wrong right now to leaning in the past and sharing fond memories with each other. And as a result, I don't think there's anything wrong with living in the future and making exciting future plans together. I think it's about taking the positive from the past and the positive memories from the past that we've had with each other, sharing that and then taking those into a really, really exciting future. A future that's going to feel really, really strange but so uplifting when we can eventually get to it once the lockdown's finished. It's really just about stopping people going into their internal head. I think for some people a bit of reflection time can be really good, but for other people stepping into this period of isolation, that kind of critical voice that they've got inside their head is going to get louder and louder and louder. For us as men, it's about stopping that happening to the people that we care about. So grab your phone, text one of your best mates and tell him that you're really proud and you're really grateful to have had him in your life. Text your dad and tell him that he's been one of the biggest inspirations that you've had. If you live with your wife, if you live with your girlfriend, if you live with your significant other, grab them, call them over, just look them in the eye and just say, God, you look hot as fuck today. The point is, the people in our life have been there before the lockdown and they're going to be there once the lockdown finishes. So we need to make them feel valued. We need to make them feel appreciated. We need to lose that kind of male pride that stops us saying positive things to people. because we really should be galvanizing and we really should be coming together. And don't be afraid to voice your own vulnerabilities and express your own worries. I think it's easier to think as men that the best thing for us to do is to be quiet, or the best thing for us to do is to be strong and not let other people know that we've got our own worries. The reality is, if we express them and we express them in a clear, authentic way, it will be unifying both for the people that we speak to the most and unifying for the people that we live with. We should be as open and as honest as we can at all available opportunities, just for the sake of really building that transparency with everybody that we interact with. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, please can I ask you to click the like and subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching.